Good morning, third grade, and happy Tuesday. We're going to go ahead and we're going to get started for the day. So let's look at our learning target. It says, I can answer questions about a text by utilizing information from the text. So using the text and what the text tells you to help answer a question, okay? And this is the exact same learning target that you have in your packet for the day. So this will help you with that. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to be looking at a little article here called What is a Community? All right, so we live in a community, but what does it really mean? We're going to go ahead and we're going to read through this together and we're going to answer some questions about the text. All right, so make sure that you are either reading out loud with me or you are following along with your eyes. So what is a community? The word community comes from Latin, meaning to bring the public together. Let's see if I can highlight this now. Aha, I can. So to bring the public together. A community is a group of people who live, work, and play in the same area. So this is our definition. People in a community share certain traits and help each other out. They make a community because they need to work together to survive and be happy. Here's a little picture of the world and a bunch of hands around it. And the caption of the photograph says, communities have natural resources, human resources, and different cultures. And we'll explain more about that soon. Our next section is called Nature and Communities. You can describe a community by its geography, climate, and natural resources. Okay, and we're gonna talk about what each one of those things mean. A community's geography is its physical appearance, where it's located, what it looks like. Does it have mountains, lakes, rivers, or trees? For example, Las Vegas is in the desert. It has lots of flat, sandy land surrounded by dry, red rock mountains. A community in Colorado is different, surrounded by snowy mountains and tall trees. These descriptions tell the geography of a community. So here is Denver, right? So here's the city and here's a bunch of mountains over it. How would you describe Albany's community? What does it look like? Do we have a bunch of mountains in Albany? No, we don't have a bunch of mountains right next door. How would you describe it? We are in a city. There's a lot of tall buildings. Do we have lakes or rivers nearby? Yeah, we have the rivers. We have a lake a little bit up the ways. So you would figure out how would you describe Albany, because it would be a lot different than how you would describe Las Vegas, because Las Vegas is in the desert, which is definitely not where we're at. Okay, now let's talk about the climate. The climate is the weather. Okay, so the climate is what its weather is like over time. Is it always snowing there? Things like that. So a desert community has hot and dry weather most of the year. A temperate climate, like California, is cooler and more pleasant. We have a one that's really all year round, right? We get the snow, we get the rain, we get the sun, we get the wind, we get it all, right? A community also has natural resources, which are materials that come from nature. Okay, they can be used for building, buying, or selling. So coal is an important natural resource in Kentucky and West Virginia. Mining communities are built around coal. Other examples of natural resources include water, lumber, and oil. And here is coal miners at work in West Virginia in 1908, a really older photo. So that's a coal mine, which can be very dangerous and you have to be careful with. All right. Our next section is people and communities. So the people and buildings in a community are also very different. Buildings are needed for a community to work. This could include roads, bridges, reservoirs, sewage systems, electrical lines, and internet. And this says roads, bridges, seaports, trains, and power lines are all important to a community. You need all these things to be able to get places, for people to be able to get to work, things like that. Some buildings help the health and education of a community. So what is a building that would help with the education? A school, right? Yeah. Grocery stores provide food. Hospitals keep people healthy. Schools and parks help people learn and play. The people of a community are important. A community must have healthy and smart people to contribute in positive ways. You don't want a bunch of people that aren't going to do anything for each other, because then the community is going to fall apart. So this says people working in a community at the Democratic Republic of Congo, which is in Africa. So this is a community in Congo, which is a country in Africa. All right, next one, culture and communities. The culture of a community is the beliefs, what you believe in, the values, languages, foods, religions, and art. A bunch of those. Oh, there we go. A community can have many cultures in one place. It doesn't have to mean that one culture exists within that one community. It can be multiple cultures, and that's usually the case. Different communities can have different cultures. So this says Filipino food that you might find in Manila, the Philippines. That looks very interesting. So does that look like what we normally typically eat on a daily basis? No, probably not for most of you, right? So that shows that it's a different type of community there. The culture in Japan will be very different from the culture in Idaho, which is a state in the United States. Japanese people speak a different language than people in Idaho. They may practice different religions and eat different foods too. So Idaho potatoes are a huge part of the culture in Boise, which is a city in there. So these are all different types of potatoes. Mashed potatoes, baked potato, tater tots, grits or hash browns, potato chips. Who else is hungry? Because I am. That made me very hungry right there. Communities can be very different from each other depending on the nature and the people that they are part of, or made of, sorry. It takes many parts of a community to work together. People can learn from the communities that are different from theirs. And these are young students that work in a community in Afghanistan. So again, that just looks different than what we have at school, right? We're not outside sitting on little things with our backpacks out, right? We're in school. We're inside of a building. So that is all about communities. So now let's get to our questions. We need to use the text and the information from there to help us answer these questions. That's our learning target for the day. Which section of the text would most likely give you information on how people in different communities are different from each other? Which one? What is a community? Well, that's the introduction. Is that telling us how people in different communities are different from each other? No. Nature and communities, if I'm talking about nature, I'm talking about the geography, the climate, and what resources are there, like coal and things like that. Does that talk about the people? No. Culture and communities. You see how I'm going to these? I'm finding which one they are, so I'm looking at them. This is talking about different cultures and how the people in the cultures can be different from each other. Does that answer my question? Yeah. But let's just look at the last one, the conclusion paragraph, which is this one right here. Communities can be different from each other depending on the nature and people that they are made of. It takes many parts of a community to work together. People can learn from the communities that are different from theirs. So wait, does that also tell me how people in different communities are different from each other? It does. So now I have to figure out which one of these is the best answer for myself. Which one do you think is the best one? Pause and answer the question. Yeah, if you have different cultures, then you are different from each other, right? That was a tricky one, but that was really good. All right, let's look at the next one here. What two text features will tell you the main topic and ideas of the article? So what of these text features, the title, the headings, the photo, or the keywords? Remember, the title is What is a Community? The headings are all of these bigger ones that tell me what each section is going to be about. The photos are the photos, and the keywords are these ones that are in the dark. Which one of these two text features, what two text features will help you really figure out the main topic and ideas throughout the article? Pause and answer the question. All right, if you're back, then you should be saying these two bad boys. The title is going to right away tell you, oh, we're talking about communities. And each heading tells you what each of these specific sections are going to be about. So those are good places to look. All right. Which of the following is the main idea of the text? Which of these is a good one for the whole text? The culture in Manila in the Philippines will be very different from the culture in Boise, Idaho. Nature, people, and cultures come together to make a community work. Coal can be sold to make energy for the rest of the country. Or a desert community has hot and dry weather most of the year. Which of these really helps us understand the whole article, not just one specific part, but the whole article? Pause and answer the question. So nature, people, and cultures all come together, right? We talked about nature. Then we talked about the people. Then we talked about culture. So do you see how I took those three sections? And those three sections come together to make the main idea, okay? This was just one section of it. This was just one section. This was just one section. This is all the sections combined. Which of the following details supports the idea that the geography of a community makes it unique? Okay. The Great Plains of Nebraska are flat with prairie grass, while a town in Colorado might be surrounded by snowy mountains. Natural resources come from nature. Different communities can have different cultures, or a community is made of many parts. Which of these details supports the idea that the geography of a community makes it unique? Which one of these is talking about the geography of the community? Yeah, this one. This is telling me that this has this type of geography and this has this type of geography. Excellent. What feature of the text, so again, what text feature, would you look at to tell you what the first picture is about? Well, here's the first picture. What do I look at in order to help me understand what this first picture is about? The caption, which is right here, the last paragraph, the subheadings, or the other pictures. If I want to know what this photo is about, what would you look at? You're going to look at the caption, just like you would do for any other picture. The caption is going to tell you what it is. And here's our last one for the day. Well, multiple choice. Which of the following details is not an important supporting detail in the text? Which one of these is not important? Natural resources are materials from nature that can be used to build things or sold for money. The geography of a community is its landforms and physical appearance. A community can have many different cultures in one place, and different communities can have different cultures. Or many people earn money by mining for coal. Pause and answer the question. All right, if you're back, you should have your answer. All these are talked about, these three. This one is never mentioned. Many people earn money by mining for coal. I didn't know that. I don't know that from reading this. And the money has nothing to do with what we're talking about. All right, excellent job. So here's the article once more. This might be easier for you to pause when you're doing your short response if you see it this way. So I'm going to go through like this. You can pause and rewind the video at any point. All right. And here is your short response for the day. What is a community? In your own words, you need to tell me what a community is, and you need to use details from the text to support your answer. Rad, ladies. I need to see solid answers that are written in complete sentences and that are showing me your best effort. All right? I want to see them. Make them work. Have a fabulous day. Make sure you do all your other work, and I will see you ladies soon. Bye.